Ascolo. And we're going to talk about the rise of the 49ers today. Thanks for stopping by. You guys are from NFL Films. I appreciate you coming on to talk about the rise of the 49ers.
Thank you for having us, for sure.
So tell me, Ryan, and then Nick, how did this start? This documentary.
Well, I think it started stems from a place a lot of people are going to be surprised about. It starts with Tom Brady, and that kind of like catches people off guard because he never played for the 49ers and he's on Fox every Sunday. Um, but he grew up in San Mateo, California, a few miles away from Candlestick Park, and his family was season ticket holders. He says in our documentary that they sat 5 rows from the top of the stadium, and he fell in love with football because of the 49ers and Joe Montana. So this competitor, this great legendary, greatest of all time football player, like the drive he had throughout his career stems from those Sundays at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. He says he doesn't think he'd be as what he was if he rooted for somebody else. And he was one of the driving forces behind getting this series made. And he's on camera, and I think people are going to be surprised to see him as they've never seen him before, which is a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would never have thought that. But it's the same thing as me, growing up a Steeler fan and Bronco fan. And then let's say I played for another team, I would still be a fan of that team or move to that city. For example, moving to Cleveland now, I probably will start adopting the Browns, but I would never have thought becoming a Browns fan X amount of years ago or being part of a team and maybe having a player I might rep someday. You never know. So kind of putting that together as I remember the 49ers, because I'm 53, but I have a great memory even watching football at 6 and 7 years old. The 49ers were bottom feeders for a long time till finally they started to come to a success real fast, pretty much. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they were NFL mediocrity for the first 30 or so years of their existence. Like in our Ray Ratto, the great San Francisco sports writer, in our documentary, he says that back in the 60s, going 5-9 would have been seen as like a sign of progress. And they kind of bottomed out in the mid 70s, along with San Francisco, which is kind of an interesting theme in this series, is that it's a San Francisco story as well as a football story. Like San Francisco, in the wake of the counterculture in the Summer of Love, had all these horrible things happen to it, and not to trivialize them by comparing them to sports, but the 49ers bottomed out at the same time you had the Jonestown massacre and the assassinations of Mayor Moscone and Harvey Milk at City Hall. And the San Francisco 49ers, they had to play a game that night. It was on a Monday, and they had to be on Monday Night Football, and they got annihilated by the Steelers. And the fans who were in shock, I mean, they were angry, and everyone was angry about the state of their city. And the 49ers began to improve, and as they began to improve under the ownership of Eddie DeBartolo, they began to not heal the city. Like, again, I don't want to trivialize what was going on, but as Ray Ratto said, when they finally won it all in 1981, they put a Band-Aid on San Francisco, and they were the Band-Aid until the city could heal itself, which it started to do more and more in the 80s.
Yeah, wow. I when I think of the 49ers, I really think who do you think, and I'll ask either of you this question, who do you think is the main catalyst of the success of the San Francisco 49ers?
Well, you'd have to go with Bill Walsh. I mean, that's where Eddie DeBartolo, for all of his love and passion he soaked into the team. If he hired the wrong guy, which out of the gate he did, as far as a general manager, not a head coach, they would have gotten nowhere. But he got Bill Walsh, and that's when that kind of steady climb began. And then Joe Montana, and then that hockey stick in 1981 is kind of where it all changed for the team. And I would say without the genius of Bill Walsh, the West Coast offense, that we're not talking to you right now, probably
Yeah,
about this team.
they literally changed the game. I mean, Eddie DeBartolo was the the model for the modern NFL owner. Bill Walsh is a visionary coach who turned the NFL into a passing league. Before the 49ers, it was run, and on third down, pass. And he flipped that around, and it was called pass to run. So that's the idea of the West Coast offense. You replace your running game with a short passing game. And when you have a owner who's willing to do anything to win, and a visionary head coach, and you pair it with a quarterback who can run that system and wants to win as badly as anybody, like Joe Montana did, then you have magic.
Wow, absolutely. Magic. And what do you think 49er fans are going to like most about this documentary?
There's so much.
I mean, the archive we had to work with, footage-wise, photography-wise, inside access. The Bill Walsh recorded his team meetings, and we have those. They were given to us by his son on VHS tape many years ago. I think that a viewer is going to be surprised and shocked at how much inside stuff we have from this team from that long ago. I think that and just seeing these guys reflect and come to life, the area that we shot them in, we kind of brought them to a sort of what we call the pop-up museum of 49ers history that they got to kind of experience. So you get to see them walk around and interact with photos of themselves, artifacts from when they played. They watched video clips, and you watch them watching themselves. So it's kind of a unique experience. It's not just interview driven, and we just wanted to use all the stuff we had in the most creative way, and hopefully people will agree with how we did it.
Exactly. And did you guys talk about how they came up with the 49ers? I guess because of the gold rush, but was it that name? Did that really, what do they think of the 49ers, if not a gold rush, before they became the 49ers that we know today, and Super Bowl champions and that era? What would you say? Like, what were fans saying? They never win, or they just can't win, or what did you in the history of that team?
They were known as the team that, were either horrible or they'd break your heart, because they actually did. They put together some okay teams, like in the late 50s, I think, with Y.A. Tittle, and in the early 70s. But they lost to the Dallas Cowboys 3 years in a row in the playoffs. I think it was 70, 71, and 72. And when they finally start to come back in 1981, the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry are still the ones waiting for them. So the Dallas Cowboys are kind of the big bad guy in our first episode.
And it's interesting, when I saw the Jerry Jones documentary on another station, I loved that. I love sports documentaries. I mean, I love any types of documentaries, but sports just makes me so excited watching them. And then you watch them again and you get upset. And then you're like, and so the 49ers stories with the Steelers, not really great matchups, I would say. But the Broncos, how you killed my Broncos, you obliterated my Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 55? That was one of the most embarrassing Super Bowls ever.
That was, I mean, you got to give it to the 49ers, though. That was one of the 89 team, the Super Bowl 24. They were one of the best teams in football history. I think even John Madden says that in our series. So.
Well, I got picked on in Pittsburgh wearing my Denver Broncos jacket in high school, and then and all those years of losing till finally winning. And I'm having Mark Schlereth on the show today, so I'm excited. I'm talking to him later today, and I'm going to be like, man, I felt that pain again on Sunday. But best place, guys, it's going to be premiering on February 1st on AMC and AMC Plus, and we can check out information by going there, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
we appreciate
it. Go to AMC on your grid if you're still watching TV, like us old heads here, or or pull up your phone and your app or your tablet, and you go to AMC Plus and tune in. It's a great show. If you like football, if you like male drama, it's a good watch, and it goes by quick because it's entertaining. It really is. It's
all right.
It's cool. It's
All
Tom
right.
Brady, Joe Montana, and the 49ers.
Okay. All right. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show. And we'll be back in just a moment.